welcome to another episode of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs, the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm here to bring you all the latest news in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. It's Wednesday, November 5th, 2014, and let's get to it. To quote the great American rapper Jay-Z, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And that statement certainly seems to hold true in the case of NPC Goliath Gabe Moen, who recently released photos looking absolutely enormous at a sidewalk-crushing 321 pounds. We last saw the Team Mutant Super Freak take the stage at the NPC USA Championships this past July, where he placed 7th in the super heavyweight class after coming in looking flat and lacking conditioning in his hams and glutes. If the monstrous Moen can find a way to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and come in with the necessary added mass, he could certainly be a contender and find himself on the Tonight Show couch one of these days. Fresh off 2 impressive performances in Phoenix and Russia, Rhoden Rowe is already back to work making improvements in the gym, training with one of bodybuilding's best. Rowe was spotted in the gym hammering chest alongside Sean Flexitron Rhoden, who's managed to keep a low profile since returning home from the European tour. In his first 2 pro shows, Rowe showed the bodybuilding world that from the waist down, he can stand next to anyone in the world. And if he can manage to bring up his upper body and balance out his physique a little bit more, he can be a very, very dangerous bodybuilder in 2015. There aren't many athletes in the sport that look to have a higher ceiling than bodybuilding phenom Dallas McCarver. McCarver shocked the world when he came from virtually nowhere to dominate the field at the 2012 IFBB North American Championships at just 21 years of age. McCarver released some new photos this past week showing off a physique that looks to be absolutely bursting at the seams with potential. Despite the fact that we haven't seen him step on a bodybuilding stage in over 2 years, it looks as if McCarver has been putting his time to good use. And when or if he decides to make his pro debut, it could be the beginning of a very long and storied career. 8-time Mr. Olympia Ronnie Coleman has announced that he'll be headed south of the border to Porto Alegre, Brazil, the November 30th weekend. The Big Nasty will be appearing at XAM Gym, where he'll be taking photos, signing autographs, and handing out samples to legions of his adoring fans. During his reign of dominance over the bodybuilding world, Coleman became the most popular athlete on the planet. And despite the fact that he's been retired for nearly 7 years, fans across the globe are still as hungry as ever to catch a glimpse of the greatest bodybuilder to ever grace the stage. Phil Heath might be best known for having some of the best arms in the sport, but you don't get to be a 4-time Olympia champ without having thick slabs of quality muscle from the waist down as well. In his most recent video, Heath gives us a sneak peek at how he's sculpting his championship quads as he prepares to become just the 4th athlete ever to have at least 5 standouts lining his trophy case. Although a legitimate argument can be made that Heath wasn't at his all-time best at this year's Olympia, the fact still remains that on the judges' scorecards, he has yet to really even be challenged. And unless he completely misses his mark somewhere along the way, it's hard to imagine a scenario where Heath doesn't challenge the record 8 Olympia titles held by the great Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs, the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. Check out ironmaglabs.com today. And for full quotes and Muscle in the Morning bonus features, join Muscle in the Morning's official Facebook page. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And remember to follow us on Twitter and Facebook.